All right, I got an 08 Ford Escape, and the hinge broke. The threads basically pulled right out, so the top of the window's loose. So, I'll show you what you gotta do to fix that. You got this screw here, which is the one that broke off of the glass, and then underneath this boot on this side, which should, let's see here, how do I get it out? I should pop out of here. Right? Well, on this side, I'll pull this one out by hand because it's easy to show. It exposes this 10mm nut, and here's your Torx. So it's that simple to replace. I'm gonna have to get in here and pry this one out. This one's being a little stubborn. I think I gotta get a tool behind it to get it to release. So we'll pull the hinge off and show you what it looks like. All right, and so with the pry tool, you just have to get behind the rubber boot. There's a little release that like pops it out. So it comes right out. And there's your 10mm exposed. So grab we'll get this side because it's the broken one off first. Ooh, I was off. I think it's an 11mm. I was wrong. It's an 11. I gotta get a different tool. Okay, so now with an 11mm, I just take the hinge off on this side, which I don't want that moving around, so I'm gonna need 2 hands. Okay, something that's really critical when you're doing this is there is a right and a left. And so you gotta make sure you have the right side for the right side of the window. And then the trick is gonna be to get the little stump that sticks down off, that broke off of the old one, in this hole before you tighten the screw up on it. And because this has got a good shock or hood support, or glass support I should call it, it wants to push down on the glass. And so you kind of gotta compress the cylinder with one hand while you get that started. And that way when you tighten the hinge up, the glass is all the way, or that bushing is all the way inside the glass before you start to tighten the screw, because otherwise you'll shatter the window. So I'm not making anything super tight yet. I'm just kind of getting everything kind of snugged up. All right. Just verify you're all the way down. Again, for right now, I'm just snugging it. Not putting very much pressure on until I get them both done. Awesome. This one wasn't broke completely, but you can see it's just completely rotted out and it was ready to snap too. So we got to make sure we get all that crap out of the hole. There you go. Don't want any of that old crusty stuff in there that could crack the glass also, I assume. And then again, it's this stump sticking through the plastic that has to be mated into the glass before you tighten up your screw. Do the same thing on this side. We have to compress this side. Get her in there. So here's my dilemma. The broken hinge left a mess in there. And I need to get this plastic washer off to put underneath the bolt, because I don't want a metal bolt up against the glass without having some kind of a shim. Here we go. So it's a little plastic washer that on this side, because the bolt came out, it stayed on the window, but on this side it came out. And I noticed it putting it back together here. So I'm gonna undo this. Put this washer in here. Yeah, otherwise it would have been metal on the window. So we're gonna get that stuck on there first. And we'll redo what we get this bolt started again. I apologize if you can't see half of this stuff. Okay, so it just touches, all right. So then we have 66 for torque inch-pounds. For the 11s here. I'm gonna re-look at this real quick, just make sure it's all straight. Looks good. Go 66 on these bolts right there. Put this plug back in. Put this one back in. That kind of just sits in there like that. And then we got 44 inch-pounds for the glass. Obviously look up your specs, make sure they're right for whatever you're working on, but for the 2008, that's where it's at. So they're not real tight. They go right to there and you're done. So let me pull this out here. All right. Then you should be able to shut it down. And then how do you get the glass? Glass should pop. Hold open. I guess those props were pushing down, but they're not as good as I thought they were. It's not really staying up. So, but that's the method. You just make sure that there's no binding. And again, if you have them on the wrong sides and you tighten it up, you could break the glass or bend the metal up in here, because they do not fit if you try putting them on backwards. The holes will line up, but I wouldn't suggest it. So there it is. Pretty simple repair.